Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Um, this is the second in this daily series of albums that I shall be playing in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Um, so I'm not going to take too much of your time up. Those people that looked at the little film that I did yesterday. Thank you very much indeed. It's very much appreciated. So let me just take this back a bit. You don't want to see my ugly mug too much. Put this down a bit. Oh, sorry about this. So, right, okay. This morning then, I'm going to be playing before I go out with a friend of mine this album that's going to put me in a great mood for the day. And it's a debut album, and it is by the wonderful Public Service Broadcasting. This is their debut album called Inform, Educate, and Entertain. Um, this is a really, really superb album. There's a track listings at the back, really good. I'll talk about that in a minute. Beautiful inner sleeve, the care and attention that they've taken into the sleeve and the design is very, very good indeed. That's them telling you all about how they came together and put the music together for the album. For those people that don't know, this group, it is made up of two people, or was. This first album was just the two of them, and it is J. Wilgoose Esquire, who's the main songwriter, and then it was just a drummer called Wigglesworth. Um, we don't know the real names. Are we really bothered? I'm not. And basically, what they do is on this particular album, anyway. Excuse me. They make it. It's totally instrumental, but they've made up their theme of inform, educate, and entertain by using samples from different sources, not least the BBC in England and worldwide samples from mainly the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But it's mainly from the BBC archive. And let me just read you something from here. I quote here: "I'm not going to play you records by eminent people. You remember those, but I've chosen a few from the many hundreds we are making. They deal with peak moments of intense personal experience, and I think together they say something about the spirit of our time, something that will still be worth saying 100 years hence." And that was Mary Slocum, who was head of the BBC archive in 1942. So, what Wilgoose and Wigglesworth have done is got all these samples together and created music around a sample, and it is fantastic. For those people that have not heard this album, it's really something quite special. The big one from here that everybody seems to go back to, they play a lot, is a thing called Spitfire. And it's all about the chap that invented the airplane, the Spitfire, for the Second World War, and the sample is of the guy's voice and other people around him when he was designing the plane and when it was finished, and then flying around and creating basically. Without that particular aircraft, I don't think we would have been successful in the war. in the Second World War, that is. So it was a great thing that he did. What you've got on here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You've got 12 tracks on here. It's great stuff. Each track is based on a particular theme. So inform, educate, and entertain is the title track, and that's all about the BBC trying to inform you at the time of what was educational and entertaining at the time. Spitfire I've already mentioned. Theme from PSB, which is basically public service broadcasting. That's what the BBC were trying to do at the time. Signal 30. That's quite interesting. Night Mail is all about the postal system in UK. That was that's a really good track as well. Kolamangma, not quite sure what that's referring to, but it's a lovely instrumental trumpet tune. Really nice. Turn the record over. It's Roy Give. The Now Generation, which is all about fashion. Lit Up is all about the electricity and energy that the country were using at the time in the 40s and 50s. Everest is another one that people tend to refer to on this album, and it's all about the first people to climb Everest. And that's a great track, that one. And Late Night Final, that's the longest track on the album. That's quite nice as well. But it's a very interesting album, this one, based around, as I said, samples. The only other person that I can think of that was maybe 10 years, 20 years in front of them was a chap called Bill Nelson. But what Bill did was utilize a sample for a piece of music, where what they do here is a theme for a whole album, and they create samples, or they've got samples and create music around a given theme. And that's what they've done here. So this is all about information, education, and entertainment. This is a great album. Don't know this, please check it out. Okay, Karina, this is for you. I did say that I may post a Sigur Rós album. Well, I am. This is my afternoon play. So once I come back from coffee and cake with my old friend, I'm going to be playing this because my wife's going out. It's a woman's afternoon, so I'm left in the house on my own, so I can play this at warp loudness. And this is Medsulum Ingarum Mitspilum Endalast. I hope I've pronounced that probably not. But this is Sigur Rós, and this is their probably it's their happiest album. It's the most upbeat album that they've done. And basically the translation is, we play music endlessly. What a cover. If you're offended by that, then I'm sorry. But that is the cover of this it's just a fantastic album, this one. It's certainly the most happiest album that they've done. Gobbledygook starts the album off. This thing is really annoying. So that's a little bit better, isn't it? So it starts off with Gobbledygook, and effectively that image is a photo from the video. So it's naked young people running around the countryside, and in fact, at that stage they're running across the motorway. It's a very funny video. It's a great song. I'm sorry with my pronunciations here, but they're all great. This is the next track is Inner Mir Sugalur Vil Atesigur, I think. I'm sorry, but this album is a little bit of a one-off for Sigur Rós. They use a lot of brass on this particular album and orchestras. Not to say that they don't use orchestras on every album, they do, but not as much brass as what they do on here. And it's a very upbeat thing. Godan Dayin is a beautiful track. Vid Spulum Enderlast, that's a beautiful, beautiful song as well. People tend to remember Festival from this album. Really, really great. Med Sut Irium. Again, apologies. The big one for me on here is Ara Batur. That's been posted many, many times, and basically what Sigur Rós do, the four of them, they go to Abbey Road and they get the London Symphony Orchestra along with a choral choir, the young boys choral choir, and they record Ara Batur live in the studio with the whole orchestra and choir live, completely live, and it's been filmed and it is absolutely glorious. It really, really is. So that's probably the highlight of the record. It's a very beautiful ballad. It builds and builds and builds. It's absolutely gorgeous. Il Greci is another one. Flotofanic. They I think they still play that one actually. Straunus, and then the only track that Sigur Rós have done sung in English is the last track on this album. It's called All Right. It's sung in English. It's the first time that they've ever done it and the only time that they've done it. This album is slightly different because they brought in another producer called Flood to help them with the album. And it's nice. He does a good job, you know. But really, Sigur Rós, all their other albums they've done themselves. Because this was, although it's it's the main label from Iceland is Kronk. They're still on there. That they were signed at the time to EMI. So I think that's probably the reason why Flood was brought in to help them. Didn't really need any help. Flood's good. I like it. He's a good producer. He gets some very good creative material out of the people that he works with. But really, I don't think they needed him, to be perfectly honest, because they're so talented in their own way. This was the last album. Was it the last one? No, sorry, it wasn't. There was another album with Amina before they stopped recording with them. This is a great album, and it's a very upbeat album. It's not like any other Sigur Rós album. It's a beautiful, melodic, upbeat, happy album. They were in a really good space here. And again, it's slightly different. This was recorded all over the place. I've already mentioned Abbey Road with Ara Batur, but it was recorded all over the place. This one, which is very unusual. Recorded in New York, Iceland. Where else? I think that's near Sear Sound in New York City, and they did some stuff at the Battery, studios in London. So it's a little bit of a different mix for the album, and I think that's why the album sounds completely. This is not like your normal Sigur Rós album. This is a great album. I saw them on this tour, and they were magnificent. They weren't using really any background or effects or anything like that. They were really in a great space, and they had. I don't know how many people were performing there. The whole brass ensemble from Iceland. They had Amina with them. They had other percussionists, and it was great. It must have been 20 odd people on stage. In fact, possibly even more than that. Great tour it was. So this is my afternoon one then when I get back from having my coffee and cake with Braveheart. I'll try and pronounce it again. Med Sut Irium Vid Spillum Endelost. We play endlessly. Afternoon then. My evening one then. I do get a lot of people giving me stick for liking this lot, but I don't care. I think they're great, and there's a lot of musicians out there that really rate this lot, as I do. They're a great band. I mean, for the last 10 years, I think, as a band from UK, there's not many that are as good as this lot. I rate them very, very highly indeed, and this is the 1975, and this is called I Like It When You Sleep, for you are so beautiful yet so unaware of it. Great cover. And what I like about this is that they've created these photographs with neon lights for every piece on the album. Beautiful thing. Great songwriting by Matthew Healy and George Daniel, who's the drummer. Very unusual combination. So it's the singer and the drummer that write all the music. They are an incredible partnership, those two. Really great songwriting. Where to start with this? This is a proper double album, guys. We're talking 80 odd minutes here, you know. Let me just show you, because I love this clear vinyl thing. So there we are. That's what it looks like. Beautiful thing. Not quite clear, but like a smoky, cleary effect. That is really glad that I got this. What I like about this particular album is that I've said this many times with a friend of mine before, you know, to make a double album, you've got to really have a good idea to keep your listener occupied over not just 40 minutes, but 80 minutes, you know. If you don't make a good double album, people might get halfway through it and just bin it and never listen to it again. And this is the strength of Matthew and George. They keep you occupied because all the songs are great, you know, and the way that they've seated them all together is very, very good indeed. Ones to pick out then. Somebody Else. That's a great song. That's we've got what are they called now? The London Gospel Choir. Not quite sure what part of London they're from, but they are on quite a few of these tracks, along with a great orchestra as well. And they list them all individually here, which is very nice because normally you just get, you know, the gospel choir from London, and that's it. No, in here they name every single person that's on that. I think it's really, really good. That particular one, then somebody else is with them. There's some great, great singing by them on there. A Change of Heart's great. There were so many singles. The singles that they pick. I'm not going to get away from the fact that they're quite poppy, really. But they're good, well structured and written pop songs with great, great lyrics. If I Believe You, that's another great song. That's another one with the gospel choir on there. Really looking forward to listening to that again. That's a great, great song. But let me just read you a line from one of the songs, and it's basically Matty writing all about him losing his grandmother. And there's a great line on here. It says, "If I live past 72, I hope I'm half as cool as you." Great, great line. Great line. And then the whole song is very emotional. It's directed to his loss. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song. With a title like Nana, you think, oh, it's all going to be, a bit poppy. It's not. It's a great, great song. And there's the closing song is very unusual. It's the only time that they've done it. It's just Matty on his own with an acoustic guitar, and it's called She Lays Down, clearly referencing his mother at the time in 2000. When did this come out? 2016. She was not in a good place, his mother is divorced his father now. So she's well known. She's a well-known actress, as his father is. But she was going through all sorts of problems, and he decided just to sit down with his acoustic guitar and write a song all about it. That's called She Lays Down. It's the final track on the album. I thoroughly recommend this, and I don't know why I keep getting stick from people that, yes, the songs that they release as singles are aimed at a young market. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would never even think about going to see them live. I've watched a couple of concerts online by them, and they're very, very good. Live, the guitar player, Adam Han, great guitar player, actually. Very, very good. But yeah, this is a great, great album. Each album, it starts with an instrumental called the 1975, which is quite unusual, actually. That's good. And what they tend to do as well with each album is it's normally on the third side. They have 2 or 3 songs that are instrumental, very influenced by Brian Eno, without a doubt. And in fact, Matty has been interviewed by Brian Eno on a couple of occasions, So Eno's a fan. So I can't be that wrong about it. They are really, really good. But then, certainly the keyboards that they use, and the some of the influences that you can hear the influences from everywhere, and they're not afraid to do that, but they are very, very influenced by Brian Eno. There's a lot of ambient sort of thing to them, They're not just a pop band. They are deemed as a pop band, but a very good pop band. But when you listen to an album like this, it does take you on a journey. It's really, really good. And the instrumental pieces I really, really like as well. So the instrumental pieces on here, I like the top track. The sound is sort of half and half. Really, really good. Please Be Naked. That's another instrumental track. I really like them. Really, really good. So this is my evening album then. I like it when you sleep, for you are so beautiful yet so unaware of it. Great track. Title for an album, isn't it? So there we are then. So there's my 3 for today. I hope you have a smashing day. The sun has got its hat on here now. It's freezing though. -7 it was earlier on when I went out with a Snoop. So it's quite nippy. Okay, I hope you can take time to tune in. Leave a comment. Please subscribe. That will be very, very helpful and very appreciated. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.